My name is Daphna. I oversee PETA's animal shelter, which assists animals in underserved areas of southeastern Virginia and northeastern North Carolina. Every year, PETA publicizes its report on the numbers of animals we take in and what becomes of them. And we'd like you to see the whole picture. The suffering of thousands of animals has been prevented, alleviated, or ended, and their lives have been saved or improved, thanks to PETA's shelter and its field workers. Emily, Jess, Heather, Holly, Kate, Thomas, Ashley, Jenny, Adam, and Chris.
Every day and night, in all weather extremes, we answer calls for assistance from some of the poorest communities in this part of the United States, where animals have no one else to help them. I had no idea when I first came to PETA that there are people who keep their companion animals outdoors 24/7 and can't be bothered to provide them with food and water on a regular basis, much less take them to the vet when they're sick, injured, or even dying.
We see dogs who are so unloved that they were never even given a name. They spend their entire lives tethered by a heavy chain, some heavier than their own body weight, watching as life passes them by, deprived of companionship, exercise, and respect.
We deliver free, sturdy, custom-built dog houses and straw bedding to those who would otherwise go without any protection from the elements. We replace heavy chains with lightweight tie-outs, and we remove tight or makeshift collars, replacing them with comfortable ones.
Every year, we help thousands of dogs for free, treating parasites, providing flea and fly strike prevention, shaving matted fur, distributing water buckets, food, and toys to play with, and giving much needed affection.
We deal with unimaginable suffering, injury, and neglect. We see dogs chained without shade in the sweltering summer sun, penned for life amid their own filth, yelled at or just forgotten. We improve their living conditions as best we can, try to persuade their owners to allow them to live indoors, show people how to care for them in basic ways, find new homes for any we can, and offer euthanasia for those who are too far gone or unadoptable.
In 2020, we assisted more than 26,000 animals in more than 260 cities. While COVID-19 brought many aspects of our lives to a standstill, there was no working from home for PETA's field team. Most of the animals we serve have known nothing but quarantine conditions their entire lives, kept isolated and confined 24/7. The pandemic did not stop us from getting them the help they needed.
In 2020, we responded to 2,300 calls for emergency help. Our clinic spayed or neutered more than 12,500 dogs and cats, all at no or low cost. Operating the clinics cost PETA more than $1.4 million in 2020 alone. Our clinics have sterilized over 187,000 animals since 2001, and we have paid to sterilize many others at private veterinary practices.
Of the dogs sterilized on our clinics, over 1,100 were pit bulls. We spay or neuter pit bulls for free because they are the most abused and neglected breed of all, the one our field workers most frequently encounter in the field on a heavy chain or confined to a tiny pen 24/7. Used as a cheap alarm system or breeding machine and afforded zero consideration and respect.
We worked with local elected officials in several jurisdictions to pass ordinances banning 24/7 chaining of dogs, instantly improving the lives of countless dogs previously relegated to eating, sleeping, urinating, and defecating in one small patch of dirt. And our longtime efforts to pass statewide tethering restrictions in Virginia were successful. It is now illegal to tie up a dog outdoors during extreme temperatures and severe weather.
We took in just over 2,600 animals, roughly 1% of all the animals who entered Virginia shelters.
We found wonderful permanent homes for 44 dogs, cats, chickens, guinea pigs, rats, a bird, a bearded dragon, and a horse. And they are truly permanent homes because we don't just give animals away, we impose careful safeguards on adoptions.
We delivered over 830 other animals to high-traffic shelters, where they were given the chance to find a loving home.
We reunited lost animals with their frantic guardians. We assisted more than 3,000 indigent families in keeping animals they were about to give up by providing them with food and free medical services, including repairing hernias, performing life-saving surgeries on dogs suffering from dangerous uterine infections, removing tumors, performing drainage surgery for hematomas and infected wounds, and treating ear, skin, and upper respiratory infections. We also subsidize the treatment of hundreds of animals at private veterinary practices.
We counseled and helped many people keep their animals by showing them how to cope with behavioral quirks, grooming challenges, house training woes, and more.
And we transported more than 800 dogs and cats to and from our clinics free of charge for people who had no transportation.
We euthanized 1,763 sick, suffering, dying, feral, aggressive, and otherwise unadoptable animals. Nearly 500 of the animals we euthanized were brought to us by loving guardians desperate to relieve their animal companions suffering from old age, illness, or injury, but unable to afford the high cost of euthanasia. PETA provides this community service, which most other shelters do not, totally free of charge.
PETA's animal shelter never turns away animals regardless of their age, history, breed, physical condition, or temperament.
We never put people on a waiting list or charge an admission fee, and our staff is available 24/7, including to respond to after-hours emergencies.
PETA often takes in the aggressive or feral animals rejected by other shelters as unadoptable.
We serve more than 260 communities, many of which are low income, often filling in for animal shelters that don't take cats in at all, or that have intake policies so restrictive that taxpayers are left with nowhere to turn when they need help.
We never want to euthanize an animal simply for being homeless. That's why we go into communities where animals need us the most and work at the root of the homelessness problem, unwanted births.
I've devoted my life to helping animals, especially the most broken ones. It breaks my heart, but I know that euthanasia is a necessary part of alleviating suffering and dealing with the horrors created by irresponsible and careless people. In many cases, it's the only humane option.
Every day, PETA works hard to prevent and end cruelty, neglect, homelessness, and needless euthanasia. We have been swimming upstream, dealing with an overpopulation and homelessness crisis that shouldn't exist anymore. Please help by calling on your local government to pass dog tethering bans, spay-neuter requirements, and laws to keep animals safe, like prohibiting cats from roaming outdoors. Urge everyone you know to adopt animals and never buy them, have their animals spayed or neutered, and help others do the same. And if you see animal abuse, please try to stop it, or at least report it. Thank you for caring. Please share this video.